Alright, I am back for episode 6, Gone, Gustav, Gone. Hey guys, this is Morgan, and this is my Dragons Race to the Edge recap series. Episode 6 was a fun episode. We get to see our favorite friend. Favorite is being very generous. I love where Astrid comes in and she says, Hiccup, we've got a problem. Dagger? Worse than Dagger. Worse than Dagger? Gustav! He has come over to Dragon's Edge and says, hey guys, it's time for me to be a dragon rider. Ugh. Unfortunately, Hiccup did say at one point in time in the future he might be ready to be a dragon rider. That point is not now. Gustav is trouble. He takes the dragon's eye on accident and shines it in his eye and gets blinded, and he's just a disruption. So Hiccup says, hey Astrid, can you help me out and kind of like keep him busy for a while? She's like, babysitting? Babysitting. Yeah, it's not really yeah, okay, it's babysitting. I just love this episode because the tone of it was just so fun. You know, as Astrid and Gustav are flying to the dragon arena, he has this dream sequence where she's like, oh, Gustav, you're amazing. Look at that beard you're growing. You know, the one hair that he's growing. And unfortunately, Gustav gets passed from dragon rider to dragon rider to dragon rider. We see him with the twins, and he tried to help out, and he filled the boar pit. Why would somebody want to fill the boar pit? Then we see him with fish legs, and they are meditating. So Gustav is on his own. He's back in headquarters, and he's pretending to imitate Hiccup. He finds one of his extra prosthesis, he sticks it on his leg, and he's trying to be like Hiccup. And through the process, Fanghook starts a fire, and this actually shows them another map. So he decides, hey, you know what, I am going to go find this treasure. He flies out there, he thinks he's going to be a hero by finding this treasure, but Hiccup stops him and says, hey, you know what, we've already been on this island a million times, it's very fragile, it's falling apart, like, did you think you could do something we couldn't? And so they take him back to the island, and he's feeling very disheartened. He's not included with the gang. So in the night, he flies away and he goes to Dagger. Now, we saw Dagger at the beginning of this episode, and he is just such a hoot. I'm so glad to see Dagger back again because that means that we're getting a little bit more spice to the plot. So he goes back to Dagger and he says, hey, guess what? I have this dragon's eye. Let's team up. So he joins Dagger's gang, unfortunately, and to me felt very much like Syndrome in The Incredibles. You know how Syndrome tried to hang out with the gang, Mr. Incredible, but Mr. Incredible said, hey, I don't need a sidekick, go away, buddy. The same thing happened here. Gustav wanted to join the Dragon Riders, but they said no, they shunned him, and as a result, he went to the dark side. Unfortunately, usually what happens with bad guys is they're not very loyal, so he just uses Gustav to a point and then is planning on killing him. Fanghook gets sent back to the Dragon Riders with a note on it that says, only Hiccup must come if you want to get him back alive. So Hiccup goes and he gives Dagger the dragon eye in exchange for Gustav because Hiccup has actually felt really bad for how he's treated Gustav. He realized the error of his ways. Unfortunately, it's too late. Gustav has moved on. He wants to be with the bad guys. He feels so much more included and a part of the gang there than, you know, the Dragon Riders ever did. So, unfortunately, Hiccup has to fly away alone, and he doesn't have Gustav, and he doesn't have the dragon's eye. Ugh. Gustav and Dagger then go to the caves to find this treasure. Along the way, Gustav realizes, wow, Dagger does not have my back, and so he sneaks away, and then, of course, Hiccup comes back, and he saves the day, and basically a lot of chaos ensues. There's fighting, things are falling, Gustav is diving into a hole trying to get the dragon's eye that has fallen, and blah blah blah, everything's okay. At the very bottom of the tunnel, they make up, and I actually really liked this part because it did show how forgiving Hiccup was. Hiccup could have been really upset that Gustav went to Dagger and joined his gang, and when Gustav apologizes, Hiccup is very forgiving, and I really liked that about his personality. He didn't hold it against him. He just said, you know, I also forgive you and I accept your apology, let's move on. But right before they fly away and go back to Dragon's Edge, they find a treasure chest. Well, Hiccup finds a treasure chest and keeps it to himself. When they're back at Dragon's Edge, Gustav realizes, you know, my mom's gonna start missing me. It's been about 3 days, and that's usually when she starts to notice that I've been missing, so see ya! He flies away. One day he might join the Dragon Riders, but that day is not today. And as he's flying away, Hiccup shows the treasure chest, and it's another lens to the dragon eye, which is really cool because now the plot is moving forward. We're getting more and more lenses, which ultimately is going to open up to some sort of magical world, or new dragons, or bad guy, or who knows what. but I'm excited to find out. So like I said, I thought this episode was really awesome, but a lot happened in this episode. We went back and forth, back and forth. We had Dagger, we had Gustav, we had Hiccup, we had the Dragon Riders. There was a lot jam-packed into this episode. This wasn't my favorite episode just because I thought it was way too condensed. I totally could have seen this as a 2-part episode, giving us a little bit more time to breathe. I love the Dragon's Eye. I love that it just keeps unfolding and we're learning new mysteries about it, and that's what makes it really awesome and exciting. So I can't wait to see what happens next. I can't wait to see what this new lens does. So here's to episode 7. Alright guys, let me know in the comments below what was your favorite scene and your favorite quote. Until next time, I'm Morgan and this is the Rotoscopers YouTube.